ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिके। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 20, The Dynasty of Puru, Text 22. रेतोधा पुत्रो नयति रेतोधा पुत्रो नयति रेतोधा पुत्रो नयति नरदेव यमक्षयात् नरदेव यमक्षयात् नरदेव यमक्षयात् त्वं चास्य धाता गर्भस्य त्वं चास्य धाता गर्भस्य त्वं चास्य धाता गर्भस्य सत्यम् आह शकुन्तला सत्यमाह शकुन्तला सत्यमाह शकुन्तला रेतोधा पुत्रो नयति नरदेव यमक्षयात् त्वं चास्य धाता गर्भस्य सत्यमाह शकुन्तला रेतोधा पुत्रो नयति नरदेव यमक्षयात् त्वं चास्य धाता गर्भस्य सत्यमाह शकुन्तला रेतोधा पुत्रो नयति नरदेव यमक्षयात्। रेतः धाः a person who discharges semen. Putraha, the son. Nayati, saves. Naradeva, O king, Maharaj Dushmanta. Yamakshayat, from punishment by Yamaraj or from the custody of Yamaraj. Tvam, your good self. Cha, and asya, of this child, dhata, the creator, garbhasya, of the embryo, satyam, truthfully, aha, said, Shakuntala, your wife, Shakuntala. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. O King Dushmanta. Who's speaking? Who's speaking? Ashiriravani, correct. This is something unusual. Normally speaker means there is a person. But here, apparently there is no visible person. It's just a voice from the sky. So that voice, who is speaking, unseen, unembodied, Ashariravani, is addressing King Dushmanta. O King Dushmanta! Dushmanta is suddenly seeing who is speaking. Cannot make out. No, he was not so poorly uninformed. He was very well educated, informed, cultured. So he knew that there is a superior arrangement for declaring the truth about Dushmanta having conceived a son in the womb of his wife Shakuntala, which happened not in the presence of the others, but happened in a secluded place. So to get this confirmed, the arrangement is there by the higher authorities, and they are confirming this, that Dushmanta had actually begotten a son who's now coming to the shelter and custody of his father along with his mother. So that Ashariravani is being heard by everyone in the palace of King Dushmanta, where Shakuntala and Bharata have appeared. O King Dushmanta, he who discharges semen is the actual father, and his son saves him from the custody of Yamaraj. You are the actual procreator of this child. Indeed, Shakuntala is speaking the truth. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, purport by Srila, no, first repeat the translation. O King Dushmanta, he who discharges semen is the actual father, and his son saves him from the custody of Yamaraj. You are the actual procreator of this child. Indeed, Shakuntala is speaking the truth. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Upon hearing the omen, Maharaj Dushmanta accepted his wife and child. According to Vedic Smriti, Punnamno narakad yasmat pitaram trayate sutaha tasmat putra iti proktaha swayam eva swayam bhuva. Because a son delivers his father from punishment in the hell called Put, the son is called Putra. according to this principle, when there is a disagreement between the father and mother, it is the father, not the mother, who is delivered by the son. But if the wife is faithful and firmly adherent to her husband, when the father is delivered, the mother is also delivered. Consequently, there is no such thing as divorce in the Vedic literature. A wife is always trained to be chaste and faithful to her husband, for this helps her achieve deliverance from any abominable material condition. This verse clearly says, Putro nayati naradeva yamakshayat. The son saves his father from the custody of Yamaraj. It never says, Putro nayati mataram. It never says the son saves his mother. The seed-giving father is delivered, not the storekeeper mother. Consequently, husband and wife should not separate under any condition. For if they have a child whom they raise to be a Vaishnava, he can save both the father and mother from the custody of Yamaraj and punishment in hellish life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Kacharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Rama. There are a lot of misconceptions regarding the Vedic scriptures among the people in general. Mostly people don't have any proper knowledge as regards what is soul, what is the process of procreation, etc. And those who have some knowledge, they have half knowledge or they have partial knowledge. And because of that, they neither can completely ignore or neglect the Vedic injunctions, nor can they properly follow them because of the doubts and the confusion that is there in their mind. So we are going through a transitional period in the deteriorating age of Kali. Because of so many bad and wrong influences, we are giving up the Vedic culture and adopting or embracing some Mlecha culture, Yavana culture, materialistic culture, which is not a culture, but it passes off as culture in this present age. So this transitional phase is a very difficult one. Just like Prabhupada, before he went to America, he tried to preach in India. And it was so very difficult to convince people to take up Krishna consciousness. And after Prabhupada went to America, so easily he made so many devotees. So much so that he brought those devotees to India And when the Indians are seeing, oh, these Westerners, white people, they're so nicely dressed, like Pakka devotees of our culture. And they so nicely shaved their head. They've got chika, women wearing saris, wearing tilak, dedicated for spiritual life. They're so blissful. They're so nicely chanting, dancing, serving their spiritual master. So Indians who at least were little conscientious, they observed this and they became completely impressed with the Western devotees. And after that, many Indians started taking up Krishna consciousness. Now, the reason is that we don't have proper knowledge, neither we can get this knowledge even if we want to from the so-called spiritualists, transcendentalists or religionists, because most of them, they themselves are not properly informed. So what will they teach you? What will they clarify to you? They are also as confused as you are. So only somebody like Prabhupada is actually having the proper knowledge and is dedicated for distributing this knowledge to save the people from total degradation. But to have that faith that what Prabhupada is teaching is actually good for us and it is completely in line with the very scriptures is not very easy to understand. Because what Prabhupada is teaching is not so much conventional religious systems or principles. Like, for example, Prabhupada says, we give equal opportunity to men and women, to boys and girls, to practice Krishna consciousness and become nice devotees, perfect their life and go back to Godhead. But what do the Shastras say? Shastra doesn't say that conventionally. You can note this point here. The son is supposed to deliver the father from the hellish punishment in case the father has to suffer on account of his own sinful activities. The son can deliver the father, means he can save the father. But the Shastra says the son does not deliver the mother. So immediately there will be so many people who say, why the son cannot deliver the mother? Why the mother should not be delivered? Unfair. It's completely unfair. Including men, women, everybody will protest. They'll find defect in the Shastra. But Prabhupada patiently explains all this. And if you hear Prabhupada's explanation, you'll appreciate why Prabhupada is not giving the conventional religious system for us to practice. Why is he telling everybody, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna will deliver you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will deliver you, go back to Godhead. Don't bother about all this. Son can only deliver the father, he cannot deliver the mother. Don't bother about all this. That is because we don't have ideal father, ideal mother, ideal children, ideal uh, uh, ideal knowledge, ideal tradition. It has been deteriorating over last 500 years or so, maybe 1000 years. That now it has come to a very, very bad shape. We are hearing that in America, at least those of the Indian origin, they are very eager and anxious to protect their children by giving them our Vedic culture, which they are not able to so easily give in the American setting. But they have organized themselves that many of the uh, parents are able to send their children to what is called a Sunday school, where they are taught nice Ramayana, Mahabharata, and our scriptures, and good practices, good tradition, good culture. And in India, the parents themselves are not coming to the temples. What to speak of bringing their children and trying to educate them. The parents are finding out how to go to America, how to go to Bombay if they are in a smaller town or village, and earn more money and buy new car. This is what the parents are busy doing. So you see the difference. Why Prabhupada is successful in America? Not difficult to understand. So it's a fact that we are in a transitional phase. We can neither properly follow our tradition, nor we can easily accept what Prabhupada is teaching without bothering about the tradition, and straight away accept Krishna consciousness and perfect your life and go back to Godhead. Can do neither. So therefore, there is a necessity of understanding at least a little bit what is the tradition, what are the scriptures saying about practice of spiritual life, and what is practically feasible in this age. Just like Dushmanta, he knew that Shakuntala is his wife and Bharata is his son. But he wanted other people to also accept. So therefore, at first, apparently, he refused to accept them. I don't know who you are. There was some stranger showing up and telling, one lady is telling, I'm your wife, and presenting a boy and telling, this is your son, who was born in my womb. You are the father. So, but because they are very, very strictly adhering to the dharma, therefore, they are protected. Both are protected. Similarly, it says that the mother, in the previous verse, this was said, if you have not heard the previous verse, a son actually belongs to his father, whereas the mother is only a container like the skin of a bellow. According to Vedic injunction, the father is born as the son. Therefore, maintain your own son and do not insult Shakuntala. This is Ashiri Ravani speaking the truth. that mother is not meant to take responsibility for the son. The father is meant to take the responsibility. But still, one cannot have a son, the father cannot have a son without a mother. It's not possible. So therefore, mother is absolutely necessary and father of course is necessary. But both have to actually cooperate to actually get a son and raise the son to become a nice Vaishnava. So that the son can save both the father and mother. This is the whole arrangement. When it says the son does not deliver the mother, it doesn't mean that the mother will not have deliverance. Simply by being a chaste wife and a good mother, doing her duty, she is automatically delivered, whether the father is delivered or not delivered. This is what you should understand. The whole scriptures, it clearly says, everyone has to do their duty. If they don't do their duty, they are punishable by the laws of nature. They are punishable. But still, because a father is responsible for giving shelter to a soul as his son, if he properly begets a son, then even if he has to suffer in future for his own past sinful activities, the son, by doing his duty towards the father, will save the father from punishment, future punishment by Yamaraj. And not only the father, because the mother also is responsible for the soul to take birth as the son of human parents. So the mother is also, by doing her duty as the mother, which she can do only if she does her duty first of all as the wife, then the mother is also delivered without any separate effort or endeavor. Therefore, if you look at traditional scriptural injunctions, there are so many things mentioned for the husband or the father to be done in terms of religious duties. But the mother or the wife, very, very, very few things are mentioned. Mostly it is simply be faithful and follow your husband or follow your son. That's all. Why? Because the responsibility lies with the father or the husband or the son. Responsibility is not with the mother or the daughter or the wife. Now all these are material arrangements simply because of the desire of the soul to enjoy materially, that's all. Otherwise, in the spiritual world, there is no such thing. Somebody's wife, somebody's son, somebody's husband, somebody has got this duty, somebody has got some other duty. No duties, no responsibilities, no dependence on anybody other than Krishna. And Krishna is the protector, he is the maintainer, he is the well-wisher, he is everything for everyone. And everyone is happy. They are simply leading blissful life without any need for earning, maintaining, doing duty, taking responsibility, nothing. There is nothing. So whole creation here in this material world is something like a necessity because of the nonsense desire of the soul to enjoy independent of Krishna. That's all. So first of all, before we touch even the scriptures or try to understand what do the scriptures say about material life, should understand I am here because of my foolish, nonsensical desire to enjoy independent of Krishna, which is only possible through what is called as material enjoyment. Because of my desire for material enjoyment, I am in this material world. And because of my own foolish actions, I am getting a particular type of body. And once I get a body, there are strict laws that work. What I do in that body, what is the result of certain action I do in a particular type of body. And I'm completely controlled. Completely controlled. I cannot violate even a little bit and escape punishment. Violators are strictly punished. And strictly punished impartially. Everyone suffers their own violations. Though it may appear like some instrument is responsible for the punishment. It's just like a person who is being hanged by being given a death sentence. A foolish person will think the hangman is responsible for the death. It is like that. Everything in the material world is like that. Everyone is simply an instrument. Ultimately, material nature, who under the complete control and direction of Krishna is awarding everyone what is due to them for their own actions. So, devotees have compiled, Prabhupada did not write a book. This is a book now called The Laws of Nature. Small book. Their devotees have compiled from different portions of Bhagavatam and some discourses of Prabhupada, some articles Prabhupada has written, explaining this very fact we should understand, that I suffer because of my own sinful activities in the past. I suffer because I have acted irresponsibly. And anybody else who seem to be inflicting some punishment or some trouble or some problem or something like that are simply instruments of nature who is actually awarding this punishment because it is due to me. So when somebody understands this and realizes this, immediately a big burden is off your mind. You stop blaming others for any suffering or any so-called injustice. So actually, when we come to Krishna consciousness, first thing that should happen is stop blaming others, including God. Don't blame God. Never blame God. Neither you have to blame anybody else. You simply take to Krishna consciousness, and as soon as you start chanting Hare Krishna, immediately your sinful reactions start becoming destroyed. Immediately, you say once Hare Krishna, knowingly, unknowingly, jokingly, imitating somebody, cursing somebody, making fun of some so-called devotees. However you say Hare Krishna, you are going to immediately start destroying your own sinful reactions, which will result in minimizing your future suffering. And as you go on chanting Hare Krishna more and more and more sinful reactions are getting destroyed. But a certain category of sinful reactions, which is called prarabdha karma, they don't get destroyed automatically by chanting Hare Krishna or by doing anything else. It will never get destroyed like that. Prarabdha karma is what pertains to those reactions which you have to experience in this body, in this lifespan. You have to experience. You have to undergo. Even if you take to Krishna consciousness, you have to undergo. Unless somebody destroys the body untimely, then they may think foolishly, oh, the body is the cause of so much suffering. Body is finished, suffering is over. No. Another body is waiting to be given to you for suffering the reactions which are still not experienced. Those reactions will not vanish because the body is destroyed untimely. It's not going to vanish. Because the reactions are not in this gross body. Where are they? They are in the subtle body. Subtle body cannot be destroyed. So, the reactions one has to suffer. One cannot avoid. But, if somebody takes to Krishna consciousness, even though they may not get immediate relief from the present prarabdha karma, as they go on advancing in Krishna consciousness, by the grace of Krishna and the spiritual master and the devotees and the Vaishnavas, they develop a tolerance, greater tolerance for enduring something which cannot be avoided. Unavoidable pain or unavoidable suffering, they can tolerate. And not only the tolerance increases by practicing Krishna consciousness, but Krishna also minimizes the suffering or the pain by actually reducing it. Krishna intervenes in the life of a devotee, even for altering prarabdha karma. But that happens after you have made at least some amount of advancement in Krishna consciousness. It does not begin immediately when you say Hare Krishna. It's not that your prarabdha karma is reduced. No. It takes some time. You have to become fixed up in Krishna consciousness. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. When your bhakti comes to the stage, practice of bhakti comes to the stage of nishtha, then you are said to be a naishtika bhakta. Naishtika bhakta. When you become naishtika bhakta, then you can experience even relief from prarabdha karma in terms of increased tolerance and increased, reduced suffering, reduced karma. So all this is possible provided you begin chanting Hare Krishna and you continue to chant, increase the chanting. Because you can accelerate your progress in Krishna consciousness by increasing your devotional activities. That's the truth. That's a simple fact. So you have to take up Krishna consciousness and you have to increase it. And when you become sufficiently serious and you're nicely following all the rules, regulations, which are not very difficult to follow, It just requires you to change your association. Most important point. Unless you change your association, you cannot simply by deciding, oh, I want to become more serious in Krishna consciousness. I want to take all the benefits of Krishna consciousness. Simply by deciding to do so, or sentimentally feeling some urge within the heart, oh, I want to do more. I want to chant more. What I heard in the class today is very important for me to increase my Krishna consciousness. Let me do it. It's not going to happen simply by a impulsive decision like that or a feeling like that. You have to actually change your association, by which automatically, naturally, you will give up all the nonsensical material enjoyment. If not immediately, gradually you will give it up and replace them with Krishna conscious activities. Yesham tu antagatam papam. You have to become completely sinless. Completely sinless. Sinless in two ways. One is the past sinful reactions which are stored in the subtle body. You have to make them zero. So you have to purify. You have to purify. For that you have to chant more, hear more, take more prasadam, do more worship, do more spiritual activities. And you also have to stop committing any further sinful activities. Stop sinning. So purify inside and stop sinning by external actions, in terms of external actions. So for changing these external actions or habits or routine activities that you do, you have to change your association. Because mostly in certain association, we engage in certain types of activities, which if you want to change, unless you change the association, you cannot change easily. It's very difficult. I was associating with coffee drinkers before I came to Krishna consciousness. And in their association, I was drinking coffee as if it is a perfectly normal, not a sinful activity, not anything detrimental. Now, when I came to Krishna consciousness, I learned that, oh, I have to give up coffee. It is an intoxicant. It is sinful. So then I tried. But as long as I was in association of coffee drinkers, I could not stop. I could not stop. I tried and tried and tried. Then I started asking devotees, what do I do? I'm trying to stop this coffee drinking, but I'm not able to. Then one devotee told me, even if you want to, if you don't change your association, you are associating with coffee drinkers. So it was in the office. Of course, I was staying alone. So at home, no bad influence. No influence at all. And in the office, all my colleagues nicely sipping coffee. Not just once or twice, every 1 hour or every 1.5 hours. And when I heard that, then first thing I did was I stopped going with them to the coffee room every 1 hour while I was working. Then I stopped going out with them for dinner, for lunch, everything. Even though when I go out, I don't take meat, take some vegetarian thing. But even that, I should not do it in their association. So when the association changed, automatically coffee band. Khatam. No more coffee. So this is not just with coffee, but with anything that you want to change, any material habit you want to change. You associate with materialists who are determined to enjoy, will somehow not give up their material habits of enjoyment. You cannot easily or very practically give up your old material habits and replace them with Krishna consciousness. So start chanting Hare Krishna, start following the principles of Krishna consciousness, change your association. Change your association. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Bhagavad Gita 1 quarter of a verse, this is clarified. This principle, how it works. All your desires, all your habits, all your routine activities are shaped according to your association, Sangha. That's why another place Shastra says, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra ko. Please associate with devotees. And 3 times it is stressed. Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha. So important. So associate with devotees. Devotees means those who are seriously practicing Krishna consciousness. You have to have their association. If you can't get physical association, at least speak to them on the phone. At least associate with them through YouTube. Some way. You have to have their association. Then your habits will change. Your lifestyle will change. You'll easily be able to replace so many nonsensical material activities which are anartha, unnecessary, with spiritual activities. And then your life will become completely successful. I'll stop here. Yuntarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.